What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to discuss take a little bit of time to discuss kind of the state of the game as far as I see it, where the game's at, and maybe some future, thoughts on the game and its lifespan, as well as discuss a little bit of the newest patch 2.5, where they discuss the stun gun and do a cloaking device nerf. Just kind of briefly touch on that, and then kind of give my thoughts on, again, like what I think the future of this game holds. So let's start with, basically addressing the whole "is this game dead" question. I've seen a lot of people discuss about how they believe that this game is dead or is dying or is on the brink of death. And while it's true that, yeah, of course, the player base isn't as big as it was when, it first launched. It's pretty normal of any game to kind of go down in numbers a bit. And while the player base has gone down, at the end of the day, the player base that remains is actually pretty healthy, right? It's always going to be, it's always going to start off any game with a little bit of hype, with a little bit of, buzz around it. So that always usually includes a lot of people that are coming to that game for the first time. But then it tapers off and it kind of evens out. And throughout, let's say, the next course of like the 6 months to a year to 2 years and so on, is really when you can tell like if a game is going to last or not. And while I think that right now the player base is a lot lower than it was than when the game launched, at the end of the day it's still a healthy player base, and there's still a lot of interest in this game, I believe, because of the variables in it that are different than other games. And while it's a first-person shooter, while it's an arena shooter, with none of those things are very new, and none of the actual like different parts are new concepts, right? Destructible environments, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's not a new thing. I think it puts all those things together very, very well, and so it creates for a unique experience, something a little bit different than the average arena first-person shooter. So with all that being said, I don't think this game is dead. I mean, I know that this game is not dead. There's a huge interest in it, very much still, and people want to see more of this game, if anything. So the numbers have declined, but that is completely normal. That's not something to worry about. The people that say, okay, this game is dead, I'm moving on, that to me just tells me that they're not interested in this game regardless. It's not about the player base, it's about the fact that, hey, this game isn't for me. And that's fine. If this game isn't for you, it's not for everybody. Not every game is. So wanted to address that because, yeah, I've seen a couple people make comments about and videos about, hey, this game is dying and so on, and I just wholeheartedly disagree with that. I've gotten a lot of comments on my YouTube videos and through Discord members and whatnot that talk about how they're having so much fun with this game, and about how we're just having a good time with it and they really enjoy it. So I don't know, to me, very, very different opinion over here on this side of it. But I wanted to also say, to kind of discuss the question of like what I would think would give this game actual longevity, like give it a longer lifespan, because I do think that after a while any game is prone to the same kind of symptom, which is, you go on and things don't change, or there's not enough content to hold some people over, people get bored of it and they eventually move on. What I think would really give this game the biggest longevity, other than just adding more content in general, more maps, more weapons, more this, more that, more, all of that kind of stuff. To me, the biggest thing is the development of the private matches. Custom games, custom lobbies, being able to change rule sets, being able to change different parameters, HP, multipliers, restrictions, all of that kind of stuff, to me, is hands down what's going to give any game, especially this game, the longest lifespan that I can see. Think about jumping into a game where you have all of these elements that the finals has, the movement, the gunplay, the destructible environments, all of that kind of stuff, all these gadgets, all these different ways to play the game, and you're able to create essentially any game mode that you want. What you're actually seeing here, this gameplay is just in a private match, me and my buddies, and we all agreed, hey, let's all run lights and let's all do throwing knives, So we all did throwing knives and we had so much fun. While I can't play the conversations that we were having, we were all in one Discord voice channel, and we were just all talking crap to each other, having a good time, like cutting up. It was just a lot of fun. So like this kind of stuff, in my opinion, is what's going to give this game a really long lifespan. They need to come out with more developments for the private matches, and I know that they will, so I'm not too worried about that. But I will say that the more that we get private matches being developed and more feature rich, the more that I think this game is just going to last. The amount of content that you can generate from something like this is huge, and the amount of fun that you can have with something like this is massive. So to me, develop the private matches and allow us to make custom, much more custom rule sets and different custom game modes. And man, this game would, I would be playing this game, exclusively, because I do play other games, but I would be playing this game exclusively, and I would probably be playing this game every single night with a bunch of friends, just having a good time. So, yeah, with all that being said, by the way, if you guys have any cool ideas for like custom rule sets or private match game modes, leave them down below in the comments, because I want to know kind of what you guys think. We've come up with a bunch of different ideas in my Discord, and I've come up with some as well too that we want to try out, but some of them we can't do effectively, or we can't do very well, because again, we don't have the ability to be able to change those rule sets. So once that happens, I really think that that's going to give this game such a massive appeal for anybody coming into it. So that's my opinion on that. Let's discuss real quick the two notes that are very, I would say, very hot right now, hot topic right now on update 2.5, which was the discussion of the stun gun and the fact that the dev notes said they're aware of the stun gun being overpowered and whatnot, and so they're going to make changes to it the next patch, which would be next week. And what I would say to that is, the stun gun, in my opinion, is supposed to be devastating. It's supposed to be something that once you get hit with it, it basically shuts you down. I will say that it's too punishing for how easy it is to land right now. I think you should either affect the difficulty, or like up the difficulty on it being able to hit. So either reduce the range or make it so that it's like, I don't know, you have to hit them in a certain spot, maybe like hit your enemies in a certain, or something along those lines, or maybe the accuracy is like terrible or something along those lines where it's really hard to hit. Or fine, leave it as easy as it is to hit, but then obviously lower the punishment because it's easy to hit, right? So maybe lower the punishment by just reducing the time that you have, or allowing for certain mobility things and keeping the time limit the same. So allow crouching and jumping and things like that while you're stunned. Maybe you can't use, maybe it's like a silence, you can't use, like a glitch, where you can't use any of your abilities or anything, but you can still move around. So something to that effect. That's what I would say with that. Not the end of the world. Do I think lights are like the most unviable thing now because of that? No. Cloaking device, they did nerf the cloaking device, and they basically made it so that every time that you like reactivate it, it's cost like double, actually more than double, the amount to activate it. So in other words, you can't just like flick it on and off and on and off and on and off without it basically depleting after 2 or 3 times of activating it and reactivating it really quickly, which I think is a good change, to be honest with you. There was a couple of times where you'd be fighting a light and they'd go cloak and you'd hit them, but then you'd lose them again because they go cloak right back, and they just keep doing that and get away. So I do like that. Again, I don't think these two changes are going to completely destroy lights. To be really honest with you, lights weren't extremely viable anyways, but like I said in my last video, if you play to their strengths and weaknesses, it doesn't really matter. You can pretty much use any class that you want and be able to have a shot. Some classes are going to be easier than others or have a lower skill gap, but at the end of the day, I think that they're still just as viable, or maybe just as not viable as they once were, I guess, depending on how you look at it. So those two things are not the end of the world. And the last thing I want to say is thank you so much to everybody for your support for these videos that I've been putting out. I'm trying to put out 1 video a week. I have over 100 subscribers now, which is awesome. We hit that milestone. I'm super pumped about that. And this is not my full-time job. I am not a full-time YouTuber at all. I have a full-time job. I actually own a company, so like I run my own business and everything. So this is just something that I do as a hobby. I don't know if you've noticed on my channel, but I have like videos from like 11 years ago when I would just kind of dabble here and there, just having fun. But for whatever reason, finals kind of put me in a place where I'm like, man, this is some of this stuff is pretty good content. I'm having fun with it, and I wanted to release something on a more consistent basis. So you're getting one video a week from me every Thursday. So if you subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, just let me know if you're having a good time with this stuff. I really appreciate all your support. I appreciate everybody commenting, everybody liking and subscribing and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, who knows what this turns into, but for right now, one video a week on Thursdays. It might be more videos in the future. So I really appreciate everybody kind of coming through and coming to support the channel. I really appreciate it. So there's that. And the last thing is, leave a comment below if you're interested in joining our Discord server. Maybe I'll leave it in the description, actually. Sorry, I'm still getting used to being, putting out YouTube videos and actually having an audience that listens to my stuff. But yeah, because here's the whole thing is, as private matches become more developed, I want to start having more and more community like private matches, right? Where we can go and have fun and run fun modes and do different fun rule sets. And we've been doing that now for a little bit, and it's been a lot of fun. So if you're interested, let me know down below in the comments. We'll get you in the Discord. Thank you so much, everybody.